Apparently this Santa Fe from Santa Fe made its way east. I guess it got lost. But it found a group of southern cars to pull around. Actually, I borrowed this from my club. I was looking at steam locomotives the other day, and got to thinking, I was like, I don't know, it'll run around my layout. So I happened to have a club meet the other day as well, and I borrowed this to find all the problems with that steam's going to have running on my layout. And this Santa Fe is definitely finding all the spots that 210-2 does not like. So more than likely, unless I make some drastic changes, I wouldn't be able to run this size locomotive. I'd have to stay with for the main drivers 8 or less, mainly because of my curves, and I don't think this thing likes easy track switches when it rolls over them, especially when they're on the end of a curve, and I have a lot of switches on the end of curves. But I borrowed it. I've been running it around the layout so I know what not to buy when I get some more steam locomotives, to have a few. So you can see I got it going slow, just to decrease the chances of it having issues. This Santa Fe is a Broadway Limited. That's pretty neat. When the motor has to work more, it gets louder, which is pretty cool. I know a lot of them do that, but that helps out running it around the layout. I can tell when it gets mad because it'll start making more noise to say that there's an issue, or the motor's having to work to do whatever it's doing. Anyway, I'm gonna play with this for a little bit before I take it back to the club, because this definitely helps find spots in your track that need to be fixed. Because actually we were doing that at the club with this exact locomotive before I brought it home after the club meet. I definitely know that this wheel configuration doesn't like sections of my track and my switches, because it has issues. So without changing out some sections of track, this would probably be too big of a steam locomotive to have in the wheel configuration to be able to run around my layout. I'm going to do a little bit more testing. I'm going to run it the other way and see how it does that way, and then determine what I want to do. I've already looked at some area of the track that I'm probably going to replace or change out from what I have, because I don't need it the way I have it, and if I change it out, it'll make improve it a lot better. But anyway, I had this Santa Fe running around. It got lost and found a cut of southern cars that I had pulling it around. But I just had an order arrive and got some other stuff to do. So I finally got me a switcher for my yard. I'm debating whether to paint this for my local railroad, because this is what they had to move cars around between the main and down their line, because it was a short it was a short line. I think they only had like 16 to 20 miles of track. But I do like how this one looks, so I don't know, I'll have to decide on that. But I got that programmed how I want it, and moved a little bit of the cars around it, with it earlier. So that just came in. That's gonna be fun being able to use that in the yard. Additionally, I got these 3 cars. They're gonna be painted black and go to the Marine Corps train. That'll be to carry the vehicles I have coming to complete that train. So I got these 3, and I need 8 more. But I found these online pretty cheap, and they work real well for what I'm doing. So spray paint them black, change out the couplers, and then connect them to the train. Additionally, I got another PS74, or not PS, DS74 to install on the west wall, and that'll complete the west wall for switches and giving me the option to be able to change them with my controller versus manually. At some point, I'll probably buy the switches Digitrax makes and that other little board that you can hook in and put a powered switch on, like your you know how a lot of layouts have it on the fascia. So I got the cars painted, put back together with KD couplers, and put on the track with the train. So far, no issues. They run good. And now just to get more cars, paint them, and wait for the rest of these vehicles to come in to complete this project for this train. Alright, this is how I wire up a DS74 to work with Bachmann Easy Track turnouts. So I'm going to set this 74 up and then connect it to the turnouts. I usually take, since it's needs a common wire, I'm going to use that. That'll be the common wire for all the turnouts, and they'll be all connected together by Legos. In the past, I would try to save the little connector that comes with them, but I'm going to cut those off and just use single Legos to connect to these. I'm making these to go to each switch, make it easier so it's already done, and then get it in place. So give me a sec and I'll be back. Alright, here we got it, or I got it wired up before I mount it and finish wiring it up. A couple things. You can see my common going into the Wago, and then these are it's connected to all, or these 4 leads for the common for each one. And then I put a single on each one for the 4, except for number 1. Number 1's going to control 2 switches that I created a crossover with, and that's possible. I've already tested, or I already have that working on the layout in other switches where 2 switches created a crossover and I have it as one address. So I'm using this wire, which is the Bachmann Easy Track extension wire for switches. It's thicker than the wire on the switches, so it's nice to use to attach to the 74. And then I'm just going to cut the little ends off with the little connectors that the switches have on the green wire. I'm going to cut that off and then attach it. In the past, I was kind of saving it. Here's one of these connectors. So this is on the an extension. I was putting the wire in there and then taping it, and that it's somewhat of a pain. And then I'm just gonna, on the actual switches, cut about that much off, strip it, and then use it, or insert it into the Wagos. It'd be a lot easier. Plus, when I need to reverse it to make it match or throw in the switch versus closed, is open these up, swap them, and then close them. So, but give me a sec and we'll have it mounted. Alright, I got the 74 mounted to the bottom of the board, and the wires connected to each of the switches. So it's 5 switches, with one are the address one on the 74 controlling 2, which is this crossover I have here for a siding, and then the back way into my little yard. You can see I cut the ends off and was putting them right there. Only thing left now is I gotta make a data cable for LocoNet and plug into power, and then finally assign switch addresses. The one thing I don't like about the 74s is they changed it to where it's the first address plus 4. You can't assign any other addresses or custom addresses. I had planned to do that, but it's not working out. So this one will be the one up here is 311. So 10, 9, 8, and 7, I think. But anyway, give me a sec and we'll finish this up. Alright, the switches are the DS74 is installed. Switches are connected. Even printed the labels, connected to the LocoNet, and everything's working for the most part, other than some switches that are either being weak or have internal issues that are separate from hooking this thing up. They're trying to work, but I think the little spring's off. Anyway, I'll wrap it up for this short video.